Hey folks, this is John Oakes here with Hankster's Hot Rods here in our Homer City, Pennsylvania location. And today, as always, we are with you to go over this, our newest addition to our inventory. A car that's kind of near and dear to my heart. This is kind of the generation of Trans Am that I grew up with as my first car ever. So 1981 Pontiac Trans Am. We'll give you a little, just kind of a brief overview before I start to walk around here on the car. So again, all silver exterior with the dark gray or charcoal decals here for the Trans Am kit here. Now as far as the drive line goes on the car, we do have a Pontiac 400 cubic inch motor in the car, turbo 350 automatic transmission, and a 10-bolt POSI 390 gear in the rear end. It is power steering and power brakes, and it's disc brakes on all four corners of the car. As far as the rest of the stuff, obviously you see it does retain the factory rally wheels here on the car, the body color painted wheels with the beauty rings and the center caps with that Pontiac emblem there. And then it does have the Cobra Radial GTs, all the same size on all four corners. 245/60 R15s. So that's kind of the general, you know, of the car there. Now again, like I said, the Trans Am, you had the urethane front fascia here, as well as the urethane back bumper there as well, all painted body color, and all are in really good shape here. As we do our walk around, you'll just notice that we don't see any paint checking or cracking or anything on those specific areas. Also with the Trans Am, you did have the ground effects. You had the front chin spoiler with the ground effects here on the front sides of those wheel wells there, again to give it that nice aerodynamic appearance. You also had the shaker hood on the Trans Am too, which you'll see on this car. It's got the 6.6 liter TA for Trans Am on the shaker. Now this particular one here, it is actually mounted to the hood, so you don't have that true shaker quality there whenever you fire the motor up and you see the scoop shaking. But that's because they did a little something different with the air cleaner and the carburetor to actually help the performance on the car. So once we get underneath the hood, I will show you that as well. Of course, with the Trans Am, you had these fender scoops here to help let some of that hot air out from under the hood here. So that was a nice look for these cars here to give it a nice, again, racy feel to the car. And then again, you had those Trans Am decals here on the front fenders as well. As far as our door, your gaps there to the front side as well as the back side, pretty uniform on the car here. Again, the door elevations and the alignments and everything all look good. Your body lines matching up pretty good there. Again, you do have some of your, like your black, like your, I don't want to say felt molding. It's not really the felt, but the window scrubber here, that's in really good shape. It does not have the drip rail moldings on it. All of the body though is nice and smooth all the way around. Does have a little bit of bright work here on the back edge here, but again, that's all in good shape too. Now the Trans Am did have both mirrors, both the driver's side and passenger side, body color, and again, these are all in great shape. The glass is in great shape too for them, and this would be a remote mirror here on the driver's side, so you'll be able to adjust that from inside the car. As far as your glass goes, it is slightly tinted here on the car, and again, there's no chips or cracks on that window. It all looks good. Let's open our door up, take a look at the interior. And again, I always like the interior on these cars. You had the all black bucket seats up front. You had the, I guess they would be considered a bucket in the back too, because you had that center hump that ran the whole way through for your drive shaft tunnel there. All the seat belts are included. That's the factory dash and factory instrumentation that you see there. That design on your dash panel, that was factory original on these cars. The steering wheel, that is the factory steering wheel, that 3-bar design with the Pontiac or the Firebird emblem right in the center there for your horn button. Of course, the center console, that would be your factory center console, full length, power windows, power doors on this car as well. Door panels themselves are in excellent shape here. No rips or tears in the upholstery. Armrests all look to be in good condition too on the car. Same thing with the carpeting too. Carpet looks great. No rips, tears, or fading. Those door sill plates are in really nice shape there. And again, all of your weather stripping up around the door edge here is all in good condition too. As far as weather stripping on the door, that's all intact too. No rips or tears there. And you do in fact have your little rubber bump stops on the door. That's the interior from this side. We'll get a look at it from the passenger side when we get to that side. Door shuts easy. I've already mentioned about the wheels and tires here. Also the fact that it was 4-wheel disc brakes also. Now your rear window here, this is in great shape too. There's no chips, no cracks here. You've got the black window trim both around your rear glass here as well as your windshield. And if you notice, this does have the rear defrost in the window as well. Now to go along with our interior, we do have a Pioneer head unit in there, AM, FM, CD player. We've got a nice set of Pioneer 6x9. I believe they're 120 watt speakers in your package tray. As far as the trunk lid on the car goes, all the adjustments of those panels are in good shape. Gaps all look good all the way around. Of course, with the Trans Am, you had the 3-piece rear spoiler here. You have the 2 side pieces, and of course your center section here. The tail lights, again, this is the way these cars came from the factory. A nice tinted tail light assembly back here that looks very nice for the car. Of course, you've got the Trans Am decals back here, and then your fuel fill door here also, you just swing that open, and again, that's where your fuel fills up from the back of the car. Again, I mentioned that urethane bumper back here. No checking, no cracks in the paint. It does have a nice silver pinstripe or gray pinstripe that goes around the tail section on the car. So that all looks good there. So let's go ahead. I do have the key. We'll open the trunk lid up, take a look inside, and show you the condition of the floor and everything for that. So of course the key does in fact work the lock as it should. The underside of the trunk painted the same silver as the exterior of the car. Little rubber bump stops are here, they are present. And then of course your weather stripping all the way around here is in excellent condition. Nice and soft, no rips or tears, meets right together here in the center. And then as far as the trunk floor itself, it does have this little mat in here which is in good shape. But again, your trunk floor itself is good and solid, no patching, all painted black and aqua trunk spatter paint there. So that would be your trunk. It is in great shape. Also, the actual light back here functions as well. A lot of cars that you see that we do, maybe that works, maybe it doesn't, but that one in fact does in fact work. Again, that shuts good and easy, and a good weather-tight seal back here too, so you don't have to worry about anything getting in there from the outside. As far as the passenger side of the car goes, nice and straight up along the side of the car there. The quarter panels are in good shape. Tail light, lenses, bezels, all your side marker lights and bezels. No chips or cracks. The bezels themselves painted body color, so all of that looks to be in good shape there. Again, your ground effects for your Trans Am, again, this was factory original, so it is in great shape and correct for the car. More of your Firebird or Trans Am badging here. Again, the bright work on this side, or so what is there, that is all in good shape. Door handles, the chrome on those are in great shape too. Same thing with your mirror on this side. The outside of the mirror, the paint looks great, glass looks great too, and even that in the doors as well. There's no chips or cracks in the windows there on the passenger side. Now we'll go ahead and open this door up too. That way you get to see the interior from both sides. Again, all seat belts are intact. The upholstery, no rips or tears anywhere. Dash has no cracks whatsoever. The actual, like I said, the carpeting is in great condition too. No rips, tears, or fading in that carpeting. Door sill plate on this side looks to be good. All your weather stripping up around your door frame here is in great shape. Same thing goes for down here on the door. And again, you'll see your passenger side door panel too. That is in great condition there. Armrest pad, no rips or tears there either. So we'll close this side up and continue on. Again, you've got those hood scoops, or the fender scoops, I should say, the matching Trans Am decals, and then that brings us around to the front end of the Trans Am. So 79 to 81 all had the same front end on it. You had the 4 individual headlights here, your 77s and 78s, I believe. They were kind of together with, and it was a grill area up here on each side. But this was the way the 79 through 81 was. You've got the Pontiac arrowhead right in the center. You've got the TA up here as well. Down below where your parking lights are down here, you have your grill sections down there, which are in great shape too. And then, like I mentioned earlier, right clear underneath that front end is that front air dam that kind of runs right into your ground effects for those for the wheel wells. The hood itself, this is all steel hood, factory original. Gaps all the way around the hood are pretty good. Like I said there, you've got your shaker scoop there. And again, your darker gray or charcoal decals. The windshield itself, no chips or cracks. The black trim all the way around, all looks good. And while I'm looking at it, this car is PA state inspected up until October of 24. So again, everything's all been checked over on the car. With that, we're pretty close now. We're gonna go ahead and open up our hood so that we can go over what we have for an engine and kind of the rest of the drive line there. So let me get my fingers underneath so that we can get this up in the air for you. There we go. Just a little snug getting your finger in there. So as I mentioned there earlier, the hood scoop. They did modify it just a little bit. Again, nothing that couldn't be put back to original, but again, they've attached it so that the scoop is all part of the hood now. And they did that simply because they wanted to change up the air cleaner and the carburetor setup. So as we can see here, for the motor, starting with the top and working our way down, we've got a chrome Edelbrock air cleaner. The chrome lid, chrome base, the air filter elements in great shape. You've got an Edelbrock 750 CFM carburetor here, which again runs really, really good on these. And the Edelbrocks are really simple to adjust if you need to. Now this one here does not have the electric choke on it, but what it does have is it has an inline fuel filter, inline regulator, and the inline gauge, so you can monitor what you're doing with your regulator if you have to set that or dial it in a little bit better. As far as the intake, we've got the Edelbrock Performer aluminum intake. That's all of your air fuel delivery right there. As far as dress up on the car, we've got some Edelbrock chrome valve covers there with the breathers, so everything's going to vent properly. And then as far as your ignition system, you've got HEI distributor with the Accel super coil, and of course you've got an upgraded set of plug wires, and these are Accel plug wires. Looking for the size, and looks like 8mm. So again, good thick wire there. That's going to help deliver that spark from that Accel supercoil a lot better than, say, stock stuff there. Now as far as exhaust goes to help it breathe, we've got 1 3/4" long tube headers emptying into a full set of 2 1/4" inch exhaust all the way back. It does have a set of turbo style mufflers on it. And then to finish everything off, it's got a, I believe, a 3-inch chrome slash cut exhaust tip on both sides. Again, true duals on this car. Now, as far as accessories, we've got the power brakes over here, which I already mentioned. It's all four-wheel disc brakes. We've got power steering on the car as well, and we've got factory air conditioning right there. So again, that's going to keep you cool because everything is all plumbed, all your belts are run, and it is functional too. Now, along with this car, sometimes when cars are made to be a little bit more performance related as far as the engine goes, sometimes you can rob them of vacuum that, say, power brakes and so forth can utilize. So on this car, we've got a Cam Dynamics vacuum reserve system on it. So that's just going to help. It's going to contain vacuum here, so that you've got plenty there for your brakes and everything to work. Again, it all kind of comes down to if somebody changes the cam out on a motor, you can kind of rob that motor from the vacuum there. But again, we've got the factory style radiator, factory shroud, 7-blade steel fan, and that is a clutch fan on that car, and that's exactly how that would have come from the factory. So that is the engine. Now the transmission, it's the turbo 350 automatic transmission, and then of course it's the GM 10-bolt rear end. It is POSI unit in there with a 390 gear. So this car with that 400 Pontiac and that gear in it, this car will get up and go pretty good. Now, as far as that goes, that's pretty much our walk around. I usually go at this point of the video to recommend it. If you're not watching this video from our website, our company site, I always recommend you go there because, again, you're going to see upwards of 100 photos of this car here, inside, outside, underneath, everywhere. Along with the video you're watching, you're going to see our retail pricing, the fact that it does include enclosed shipping to anywhere within the 48 contiguous states, and it also includes our Hankster's 3-month, 3,000-mile powertrain warranty. If you're interested in seeing exactly how that works, you can always reach out to us by phone, email, or text. We'll be glad to go over that with you in case you would ever need to use it. If there's any parts or accessories that you would possibly like to have added to this car that you might not see here right now, we do all kinds of installations. So again, just reach out to us by phone, email, or text. Let us know what those changes would be, and we'll be glad to get you pricing on parts and labor in order to do that for you. So with that said, we're going to take just a second here to close everything up. We're going to go back on our lift end, get this up in the air so that we can then show you the complete underside of the car, and then once we're done with that, we'll fire this 400 Pontiac up here, let you hear exactly what this motor sounds like. Hey folks, welcome back. We are here with our 81 Trans Am here up on our lift so we can go through this car. I'm going to point out to you all the accessories, all of our drive line and so forth that we can see underneath here, and I'm just going to kind of go over the condition of everything and whether or not we see any leaks or anything underneath the car here. Everything from, you know, like I said, driveline, running gear, to the frame, the floors, and so forth. So starting at the front, of course, on our 81 Trans Am, you obviously have that front air dam along with all of your fender flares. So the front air dam is in really good shape here. There's no splits or cracks anywhere. It's all good and solid, all anchored very solid too, along the bottom side of the car here. So no issues with that. If we come back a little further, next thing we're going to come in contact with is the radiator that we're concerned with. So all along the bottom of the radiator, it is nice and dry, drain petcock, there are no leaks there, and the same thing goes for the lower radiator hose. No leaks or drips there. The hose looks to be in good shape underneath here, as well as those hose clamps. And again, it's got that full shroud on it for the fan. And again, there's no splits, cracks, or breaks in that shroud. It is all good and solid. Right back behind that underneath here, we kind of start getting into some of the suspension, mainly the front sway bar right here. Now this is an 1 3/4 front sway bar, good solid sway bar here, and that's going to really tighten up the front end of this car and help it with cornering. Now the frame bushings here, as well as your sway bar end links, those are all in good shape on the car. We come back a little further, of course, that front cross member, very important, because again, this is what everything is bolted to as far as that suspension goes. So this is nice and straight, doesn't look like it's been hit on anything here. And then as far as the rest of the suspension, the control arms, your upper and lower A arms, these are going to be factory or OE style control arms, top and bottoms. They're stamped steel and they're in good shape. Ball joints are all in good condition. Little rubber dust boot covers are there. The shocks are in good shape. Mounting hardware and bushings all in good condition. And again, the shocks and the springs, like I said, those are all in good shape underneath here. Now this car is a power steering car, so with that we always look at our drag link, our pitman arm, tie rods, and the tie rod ends. And again, everything has been maintained underneath here. You can tell that it's been greased regularly here. And again, all those rubber dust boot covers are all present where they should be. As far as braking on this car, power brakes as well. Now this car actually has disc brakes all the way around on it. Now it looks like pretty much the factory stuff up here on front. So as far as consumables, whenever you need to replace things like the brake pads, the calipers, the rotors, you should be able to go to just any auto parts store and pick these components up with no problems. Wheels and tires, obviously from our walk around, you were able to see that this does have the factory rally wheels there with the beauty rings and center caps. And for the tires, again, we've seen that it does have that Cobra radial tire here on it, the radial GTs, and the size on all 4 corners, which makes it very nice when it comes time to do any tire rotations and so forth. Those are 245/60 R15s. If we come back in towards the center of the car, we can start talking about some of that drive line now too. Starting with the engine, this is going to be that Pontiac 400 motor here. Now we're looking at the underside, we're looking at the oil pan on the car from our underneath perspective here. We want to look and see that there are no leaks or drips here, and it is nice and dry underneath here. Same thing goes for the drain plug and at the back of the oil pan. There are no wet areas, no leaks, no drips whatsoever. Transmission, this is that turbo 350 automatic transmission. It does have the flywheel and torque converter cover here to help protect that. We've got a finned transmission pan here. It's got the 350 turbo embossed in it underneath here, all in chrome. And again, that is nice and dry all the way around. Our transmission cross member is in good shape. And again, the tail shaft mount is good and solid too. And at the tail shaft itself here, that output shaft seal, right where your slip yoke slides into it, that is all dry back here. Now before we get too far, we will go over the exhaust system here. Not a bad exhaust system on this car. We've got 1 3/4 long tube headers going into a 2 1/4 inch exhaust. This looks to be a stainless exhaust here. Very nice looking exhaust here. And then it's got these shorty mufflers on it. Now I don't see a name brand per se. They do resemble a Flowmaster muffler, but they are shorty, and like I said, I don't see a name on them, so I'm not going to call them out as a Flowmaster, but they're kind of Flowmaster-like. So being that they're short, they're going to give this car probably a nice deep rumble to it, so a good exhaust note for the car. Then of course it does have the tailpipes up over the axle tubes there. We'll see that a little better as we get to the rear of the car. Frame and the floors. Now again, with these cars here, you do have the subframe here, and that is all in good shape here. Nice and square, good and straight. The body mounts here are in good condition too. They look really good. Floors, I see no patching, no holes at all in these floors. These are very nice floors. You can see all the stamping lines in them. You can see all the bracing in them on both sides all the way back. So that is all in good shape here. Pinch welds and rockers on both sides. The pinch welds are good and straight. Rockers are good and solid on the car too. All of your fuel lines, brake lines and such all routed nice and neat right back along the side of the car here on both sides as it comes back to the rear of the car. Now again, as we get to the rear, we can go over that rear suspension next. So on the Trans Am 81, it has the multi-leaf rear suspension on the car. Along with that, it's got a set of the KYB Accel G shocks on the rear, and it does in fact have the 3/4 inch rear sway bar on it as well, and that's going to tighten the rear end up. So overall, this car should handle very well having both sway bars on it. Now the rear end itself, this is a 10-bolt GM rear end. Now it does have the bigger ring gear in it. It has the 8.5 inch ring gear here. It's a 390 gear in it, and it is a POSI unit in that differential. Again, your rear diff cover here is all nice and dry all the way around. Your pinion seal up front is all nice and dry. Drive shaft, it's a balanced drive shaft, and all the universals have been checked over on the car too and are all in good shape. As I mentioned earlier, the tailpipes here up over top of the rear housing here and ending here with a nice slash cut exhaust tip. And again, that almost to me looks like that's all stainless. So a very nice exhaust system on this car. Also, if we look directly above us at the fuel tank, you can see how nice that tank is too. So from underneath, we see no dents or dings in that fuel tank, no leaks at the fuel lines, and all of our mounting hardware, the straps and such, that is all in good shape on this car. Again, wheels and tires, as I mentioned before, they're all the same. So you've got your 15-inch rally wheels here with the beauty rings and centers, and again, those Cooper Cobra Radial GTs, the 245/60 R15s. So that's pretty much it for underneath our 81 Trans Am. I take this time right now to let you folks know out there that if you're in the market for an enclosed trailer, we are in fact an ATC trailer dealer. We've got multiple models right here on our lot in stock, ready to be purchased and ready to be used to possibly put one of these nice classics in too if you're interested there. You can always go right to our website. Through our car site, you can definitely get there. If you look at the inventory tab, click that and go to trailer inventory. It'll take you right to it. Or you can go directly to our website for trailers, and that's going to be hankstershaulers.com. And you're going to be able to see all of our trailers, the pricing, the options, the descriptions, and photos of each and every trailer inside and out that we have. So if you're interested in one, please hit us up. We'll definitely work with you if you're one of our car customers. Try to make you a good deal on one. So with that said, we'll go ahead and let this car down off the lift. We're going to go underneath the hood. We'll fire this Pontiac motor up and let you hear what it sounds like here, and then we'll finish up the video with that.